How do I afford to travel? How can you afford to travel? Travel the world, go to different places, meet different people, interact with different cultures. Welcome in, much love. Trav here, just got into Washington, D.C. from Mexico, and we got some kind of zoo here. I'm not going to go in or give them my money. Much love to Harambe. Harambe did nothing wrong. Shout out to everybody's favorite ape. Anyways, I'm making this video because I keep getting asked this question. This year has been a crazy year. I've been in, this year, in the past 6 months, I spent a month in Hawaii. I spent a month in Europe. I spent a month in California. Spent a month in Mexico, now on the East Coast. And a lot of people are asking how I've done it, how I can do it. So this video, I'll try to cover that as much as possible. Get the fuck out of the way, try not to get hit here. Right, so the first thing is we want to recognize the time that we're alive and the opportunity. If you're a student of history, you know that there's no better time to be alive for travel because the innovations in transport make it cheaper than ever to fly, to bus, to drive. You've never had so much freedom to move. And with the tools and leverage of the internet, it's also never been so easy to work as you travel. Therefore, it's never been easier to travel all the time. If you want to, it's possible because of the time. It's going to get easier and easier, but if you were alive 1,000 years ago, good luck making it to America from Europe, right? It's good luck with that. So now's the best time to be alive for travel. It will get easier though, but especially with the internet, and we'll talk about that. So first of all, the major hurdle to you traveling is not money, but it's time. If you have a job that requires you to be in a specific place for 52 weeks out of the year, you're not going to be able to do this. And that's not saying, that's the issue. It's not money, it's time. If you have to be somewhere at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., you're not going to be able to do it. I'm not saying that you need to work on the internet, but as you rise up in your career and your profession, it's definitely possible to have more control over when and what time you're going to work, whether that means taking extended time off, or working as you travel, or going to other places to work, and so on. But that's the main issue that you need to address is how are you going to have freedom of time and location? It's not about the money. So it means if you work on the internet, as I do, let's go this way, then you're going to have the freedom and the ability to do it. If you save and take hiatus from work, then you'll be able to do it. If you travel to a different office, you work for a big company, then you'll be able to do it. If you just use your vacation days, you'll be able to do it. But money is not the big obstacle, it's time. Again, if you have to be somewhere, then you can't do it. Unless you make that somewhere a variety of different places. Next, let's talk about the money. So there's a misconception that it has to be expensive. It doesn't have to be expensive. Even plane tickets get really cheap. Like Texas to Mexico is $100. You might need to save to have that extra income, but it's not a lot. It's not crazy much. And then say you're in Mexico, 18 pesos to $1. You can have a decent meal for $2, $5. You can go to a great restaurant, like good restaurant, pay $10. It's possible. All right, this isn't really where we want to go. So that's one example. But it doesn't have to be expensive if you're going to a first world country either, if you're able to be good with social skills. So one of the things that I do, and one of the things that makes it really cheap is I've got a host almost everywhere I go. Right now, waiting for my buddy Luke to get off work, and we were college roommates. We played on basketball teams together, and we're going to the Washington Wizards Game 5 playoff game on Thursday, which should be cool. But, you know, I had a host in Mexico City, Magic player named Gabby. That was cool. I did stay at a hostel before that. Before that, I was at a cheap Airbnb. But when I was in Europe, I'm usually having hosts. And there's a lot of ways to do this to reduce the costs. And the first is to just be friendly and make a lot of friends and let people know that, hey, I'm looking for a host. A lot of people, if you're good socially, so it's the social challenge. If you're good socially, a lot of people will offer you their place for not necessarily an extended period of time, but long enough to be a host. And I've got other videos on how to do that, but how to make brothers, how to be, how to offer value. But if you get hosted, like, got a friend, I knew I was coming to Washington, D.C., so I was like, yo, I'll hit up Luke, I haven't seen him in a while. What's up, man? I'm coming out there, can I crash for a bit? You're always welcome at my place. If you come out to California, deal, right? So that way, I pay for the ticket, but I'm not paying for the place. And I'm gonna pay for the food, but that way, it's not expensive, right? Sometimes you get hosted, and they'll even take care of the food for you. You just have to offer value, be gracious host, and so on. And I'll make a video about that, because I'm being hosted by so many people, a lot more people than I host, but talk about how to do it and how to be a good host. Another way, and something I've done recently, is work trade. There's a lot of cool places you can go, like Woofing, you might have heard of, Worldwide Farmer Organization, where they'll give you food and a place to stay if you work for 20 hours a week on their farm. And that way you can go travel to really cool places in the country and meet cool people, work outside in the ground a little bit, get your hands dirty. So that's a way to make it cheap. Oh, and going back to if you have friends or whatever, you can use Couchsurf. I haven't used it successfully, but I've messaged some people and been on there. But basically, that hooks it up so you can crash on a couch. And usually they're going to screen pretty heavily, and they want you to be a cool person in order to do that. And you might need to host some people, but it's a cool way to meet some people as well. Transport. Yeah, I talked about plane being cheapest it's ever been, but you can also use Craigslist or Metro, bus, and stuff like that. Travel really far for really cheap. It's possible to get from like California to Washington for 30 bucks. Pretty crazy. So it doesn't have to be expensive. And then the last, and this is my recommended, and I have another video you should check out, 3 ways to work seasonally. Like, you should be working. This isn't, just because I travel a lot doesn't mean it's vacation all the time. So the quick 3 are, number 1 would be you save and then you go travel and you don't work. And I kind of use that because when I'm at home, I'm definitely saving. I'm trying to stack chips so that I can spend more when I'm traveling. Second is seasonal work. You go somewhere exotic and you work as a bartender, or you work at a hostel, or you work something like that, or you trade, exchange to the other office if you're 9-to-5er type thing. So there's a lot of ways to do that. And the third one is work from internet, which is what I'm doing. And there's some negatives to that. It can be antisocial, but there's a couple of big positives. And the first is it's a unique opportunity that's only really been available in the last 20 years and really the last 15 years. In the history of anything, the internet's new, which lets you leverage using social media or using internet resources to reach a lot of people very easily in different places, which makes it possible to have a huge impact from anywhere. You have a huge impact, you get paid more, give more to get more. And that's what I like about the internet is leverage. If you want to get paid more, you just do more work and you help more people. You don't need to ask your supervisor, hey, can you pay me more? Or go to a new job, negotiate for more money. You just have to reach more people and help more people with the internet. And you get paid more, which is what I like. And you don't even need to get paid that much, right? You just need, if you're just making enough to get to the next spot, and you've got someone there who can help you, and you can help them, then it's possible to do this. But that brings us back to the biggest obstacle, which is time. So if you don't have control over your time, that's not something you need to figure out today, but it's something you do need to figure out. And I've got a resource on that. I have a free course. It at one point cost money. It might cost money again. In the description, time hacking, how to take control, how to separate time from money, and so on. And that's a big piece of the puzzle because, right, you can be making stupid money, but if it doesn't let you travel for more than a weekend at a time, then it's going to be really, really limiting. You can make just enough money, but if you have full control over your time, then you have the opportunity to go to a lot of places and do a lot of things and meet a lot of cool people and have a lot of experience, combine experience, understand culture. And it's extremely valuable. Should have said this at the beginning, but it's more than just, ooh, look at me, I'm doing cool stuff. It's like, if you met me in person, you can see it. If you watch my videos, you can see it. Combining understanding of different places, understanding different culture, different experiences, socializing with different people in different parts of the world. It's really a blessing and has changed my life in so many ways and improved my life and gives me a lot more to offer, a lot more value, a lot more that I can give. So those are my thoughts on that. I hope you find that useful and helpful. Let me know in the comments if you do and what you want to hear about. And check out the course on time hacking, time machine training. It will help you. Probably still free when you see this, so go check it out. Check it out and speak soon. Much love. Peace. See you in the comments.